thanks for joining us on today's edition of the program Issues of the Moment on MBS TV. This is a platform that normally discusses topical issues, burning issues, trending issues, and we are here today to discuss some political development. And of course, as you know, this is a political season, and so the major issue for consideration today is the outcome of party primaries and the 2023 general elections. And so to do justice to the issue at stake, I have two personalities in the studio which we believe have the capacity, the capability, and they are going to do justice to the topic at stake. First on my list today, who is live in the studio, is Umar Abdullahi Angibi. He is a public affairs analyst based in Lafia. You're welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right, and also to be doing, assisting or joining us in this conversation, he's also live in the studio already, Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Abdullahi. I call him His Excellency. He is the State Deputy Chairman, New Nigerian People's Party. You're welcome to the program.
Good morning, viewers.
All right, my name is Gospel Aedi, your regular host on the program, and together with my guest, we'll be doing justice to this. And before we go into our conversation proper, we have a clip for you to watch just for 2 minutes or so of what transpired in the last 1 or 2 weeks. And so after that, we'll come back to our conversation. Let's look at the clips.
And I therefore pledge that I will work to ensure I restore unity and I give a sense of belonging to all Nigerians, irrespective of their places of origin and irrespective of the faith they practice. I also committed that I was going to deal decisively with our security challenges in this country. I also pledge to confront our economic challenges. Let me also use this opportunity to call on my fellow contestants and to assure them that I am ready to cooperate and work with them and give them a sense of belonging in this party and our next government. Therefore, my fellow compatriots, I want to appreciate your efforts in deepening our democratic processes in this party. It was a well-fought primary elections. So I commend you for that, and I look forward to working with you very closely so that together we can build this party to a level where we can take over the government.
I, Senator Abubakar Atiku Bagudu, do hereby declare Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the presidential candidate of our party in the forthcoming 2023 presidential election.
And that is it, a most significant moment today.
We are progressives. Yes. We are a nation builder. We are not destroyers. We are confident, courageous that this nation is back on track. It is the beginning of that time now. You will get reward and enjoy a part of your life. You won't sacrifice for nothing.
All right, you're welcome back from that short clip of what transpired, talking about the just concluded presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party, which was won by His Excellency Haji Atiku Abubakar, the former Vice President, and that of the All Progressives Congress also clinically won by the national leader of the All Progressives Congress, the former governor of Lagos State, Alhaji Ahmed Bola Tinubu. We just listened to them, the declarations, and also their, promises for Nigerians should they win the elections. So, with my guest in the studio, we are going to be analyzing situations as they unfold. Let me start with Umar. The political parties in Nigeria have concluded their primaries ahead of the 2023 general elections, and we'd like to hear from you. What is your take from the outcomes of this primary election, especially that of APC and PDP?
Thank you very much, God's power. And I would like to greet our viewer this moment. Well, going to your question, we have watched the drama unfold. It is not just the culmination of what we saw at the Eagle Square and still at Abuja at the National Dome, is it? Where the PDP held its own event.
Excellent.
It was something that started a long time ago with the electoral body, the Independent National Electoral Commission, trying to design the template of action under which political parties will participate under a democratic setup viewed within and internationally to be free, fair, and within the democratic tenets defined by the Constitution. And so there was a modification in the Electoral Act of 2010,
exactly,
which has now become the old act, giving credibility now to the current one, which is the new act, Electoral Act 2022. In that act, the Independent National Electoral Commission has tried to look at the previous outcomes, either the errors especially, and the complaints and issues generated, and try to modify that as a proposal. And then they send the bill to the National Assembly, which over time there were debates. And then finally, I think in February of this year, His Excellency the President, Muhammadu Buhari, assented to it.
Very well.
One of the two major issues of controversy, or is it three that I can quickly point out before coming to the main crux of the matter, is, remember at the stage of the National Assembly, there were issues on electronic transmission of results.
Of course.
That will come later in 2023 when the general election holds.
Yeah.
Some were for and others were against it. And incidentally, it was even the ruling party and even the main opposition party seemed not to be comfortable with some of the proposals. But eventually that scaled through. Then the issue of the delegates in deciding the primaries.
Of course.
Who are the people, or what modality or mode should the primaries be? The National Assembly, that is the House of Representatives and the Senate, decided to remove other options and left only one option, which was the direct primaries. By implication, for any primaries of any of the political parties, it was supposed to be that members, card-carrying members of the party from their respective units or wards will go and queue up and decide on the outcome of the primaries.
Exactly.
And the argument, some of the political parties and some actors felt that it was not democratic enough. So when the bill was sent to Mr. President for assent, he sat on the bill, awaiting professional advice from the legal angle. And he pointed out that it would be a problem if only that mode of election was accepted. And they felt it was not democratic. They just restricted to just the direct primaries. So after a lot of dragging, it was eventually returned to the National Assembly when the presidency gave a hint on the matter. So it was expected that they would just add the indirect primaries, where delegates now nominated by the parties would partake in the elections. Remember, it was so, political parties in the past have relied almost solely on the delegates, and it has become counterproductive, so to speak, whereby delegates were seen collecting money and deciding even against the will and wishes of the populace.
Very well.
So it was, to some school of thought, they felt if they eliminate that process, it will be more open, more democratic. But when it was returned to the National Assembly, they did not just only impute the indirect primaries now, they also brought in the consensus angle to it. Just, they added that of their own volition and then returned it back to the president, who signed the bill into an act. Now, coming back to the question, even though you asked just of the two major actors, the PDP and the APC
the
here.
two heavyweights.
Yeah. The major problem encountered leading to this primaries was on the issue of, particularly for the PDP, the zoning arrangement, which has also later affected the APC. We had thought that when at some point the APC decided that all the positions that the current actors are holding now, the president, the Senate president, the speaker of the House of Representatives, and other key positions of political parties, they have decided to sort of swap them across. The ones in the north should go to the south, and the ones in the south should come to the north. And we thought that was settled. And then for the PDP, the major problem was that, based on arrangement, some of the actors were looking at it from the point of view that at the present, the north is ruling. So naturally, power should now shift to the south on the arrangement of rotation.
Exactly.
But that is not a law binding on the APC. For the PDP, you would understand, based on this, the current realities, that yes, power should shift. But for the actors within the PDP, one of which has emerged, the presidential candidate today, His Excellency, the former Vice President, Atiku Abubakar, and they looked at it closely and realized that in the, 16 years or so of democracy, at the time of the PDP, power was more
substantially in the south.
14
years or so.
14, yeah. President Olusegun Obasanjo did 8.
Yes.
There was a transmission to a northerner, Umaru, His Excellency, the late President Musa Yar'Adua. But just 2 years into office, he passed on. So his vice, who was someone from the south, and the person of the former president, His Excellency Goodluck Jonathan, took over the remaining 2 years, and then he was elected again for 4 years, making 6. So if you add to the 8 of Obasanjo and 4, it makes it 14 years that the PDP. But if you look at the arrangement, the North had only ruled for 2 years. So it brings to question the fairness now within the party itself. But if you look at it outside the party lines, it brings it so. So the primaries, unfortunately, things that we thought, or those who were crafting the Electoral Act were trying to do to eliminate the issue of money-backed politics,
Sure.
The issue of the overbearing influence of delegates over and above that of the wishes of the people. We saw them playing out in the last primaries, of course, of the major political parties.
All right, thank you. I think you've made some reasonable point here.
Thank you.
Let's keep it there. I'll come back to you. Let's hear from His Excellency Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Abdullahi, the State Deputy Chairman of NNPP. He was several times gubernatorial candidate of his party.
Yes.
So I call him
former party.
his former party. So I call him
PRP.
His Excellency. So your view concerning your reaction to what played out from the primary elections of these two leading political parties.
In reality, we need this country to move forward.
Exactly.
This is one, the development of the country, the peace in the country, and other things. You see, like the primary election of the presidential candidates of PDP and APC.
Exactly.
It was just a mere ShopRite.
Wow.
Yes, ShopRite.
Oh,
because
serious.
a van, we saw van that were sharing money to the delegates, which is not supposed to be like that.
Wow.
But in the APC and PDP primaries, it is to the knowledge of all Nigerians that these things happen. And I'm keeping telling us that there are a limit for a political party to spend money on election matters. But suddenly, I kept quiet. And we heard that EFCC went to the
venue. The two elections. I saw EFCC.
But there was no result, and this thing happens in the
Daylight.
in the daylight. So I think there is a lot of problems, and this will bring a lot of confusion.
Okay.
Maybe in the general election.
Okay.
You see, like NNPP primaries, there was nothing like this.
Okay. Is it not? Is it because it was only one presidential candidate? Or?
I can't say anything like that.
Or don't you think if there were there were other contenders in the spirit of the normal Nigerian?
But in our own part, NNPP, we don't spend money on primaries.
Okay.
Because this is what my colleague said, that the two national assemblies brought back, trying to revive some laws so that money should not be spent on primaries. That is why you found out that the political parties were forced to, or can I call it forced to limit their delegates.
Okay.
Simply because money should not be spent so much on that. I am surprised. People are hungry. There is no peace in the country. You can't move from here to there without seeing some people are being killed. And this will have a lot of money like this. It is a surprising issue.
Thank you so much, Honorable Yusuf, for your view concerning this. It's indeed sad. Let me come back to Umar Angibi. Some people call it the monetization or the dollarization of the electoral process, because at the end of the day, it is all about the highest bidder. That was what happened, because the two eggheads that won primaries in the two major political parties are people with a war chest, people that are in terms of financial resources, they are heavy. They have deep pockets.
Yes.
So, moving forward, as a political analyst, as a politician in your own right, as a fellow citizen of this country who wish to see Nigeria progress, what should be the solution to this craze for spending money and winning election at all costs?
Well, to be fair to the two presidential candidates of the PDP and the APC, I don't think it was only in these two political parties that money exchanged hands. None of the parties that are presenting presidential candidates can be said to be completely free of this guilt. For the other political parties, the NNPP, the Labour Party, the SDP, and some of them that are still at the background, but still they are operating. It may not exactly have been in the face of bribing delegates. Why? Because some of the aggrieved parties, like in the NNPP, Alhaji Musa, Senator Musa Kwankwaso, who has taken over the party and the presidential candidate at the moment, it is like inheriting the party. And the person that would come and match him in doing that, it is not just taking the party, but the wherewithal to sort of finance the party is there.
Of course.
So others may, out of that observation, may have within themselves realized is the only person capable of doing that. You understand? So they may not have put up any major contest there. For Peter Obi, for the Labour Party, his grievance was from the PDP at the late hour. He left the PDP. And he came and discovered a party lying there, the Labour Party, and he picked it. But it will still require some financial muscle to run and bring all the state constituencies to activity. Where will the monies come from? So, but coming to the question that you asked, how money plays significant role in our politics, one would say that in this fourth democratic regime, it has been so right from 1999. Unfortunately, it has become consistent, whereby when the PDP and the other two political parties, AD, Alliance for Democracy, and the APP, All People's Party, then came in, we thought it would allow for true democratic processes, evolution, so to speak. But the moment they were elected into office, don't forget what happened, that there were two actions that happened if the president at the time wanted something to happen. It was either to use the muscle or to use money. And so we started seeing a brand of politics whereby Ghana must goes were being declared on the desks and table of the National Assembly, and pointing to the source to be from the presidency. So and along the line, politics of this era now give room that the moment, if you are a nobody, if you don't have anything at all you need to do is to be elected into office, and suddenly you become extremely rich
and powerful.
So politics became, it was not a thing of going there to address national, state and local issues, but it was about like a business, whereby if you get into office, you suddenly become rich. So somebody could start a car dealer business, do farming business, do any other business, and the gestation period for him to become somebody relatively rich could take 3 to 4 decades. But somebody within the twinkle of an eye, you elect him into office and suddenly he becomes a multi-millionaire, buying properties all over the place, throwing money around like nothing. So it has sort of affected the psyche of the society. So, oh, why would I be wasting my time and energies here when the easiest way to get there is politics?
Wow.
And then in business, you have to put money in there to get return.
Exactly.
So naturally, it has become so. Unfortunately, going by what my colleague has said, he drew the line, an observation where in this primaries, the EFCC, Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, was seen at the venues of the primaries, which is a clear pointer that, yes, monies do exchange hands. And well, we cannot say whether they have anything to report about or to deal with now, because the primaries have just ended. Yes, the INEC has pegged the amount for any of the positions that you can contest and the limits to which you can spend money there. But who takes the audit? You understand? How can you prove that this person has spent beyond that?
It is practically impossible at the moment, because I can assure you that the spendings at the primaries alone has far outweighed that
Really?
peg we're talking about.
Yes, because sorry to cut you there. In Sanga, our neighborhood here, just the neighbor, the boundary local government in the Sahara State. If you are living at Kwanga, you enter there. Someone actually printed posters, campaigned to be elected to be a delegate. To tell you how juicy that position was. So after, and he made promises, and when he returned, based on the reports and social media postings, he spent close to 6.7 or 6.5 to even 7 million
out of his
spending to redeem his pledges.
Exactly.
Right. So you are going to ask, and that was a delegate for the PDP, right? And you are going to ask, that is just one delegate spending that kind of amount of money. How much went into that primaries, from the stages of consulting with people, meeting all the influential people and coming? That was just the delegate stage, because it is not only at the delegate stage that money is spent. And it was like an oversight in the preparations of the document, the Electoral Act, that even the National Assembly, which became a battle between the governors who were seen to be too powerful and the lawmakers who felt they needed to also have a voice. And the dragging, each one was trying to design to check the Electoral Act in such a way that it favors them.
Exactly.
So the mistake or error of oversight was that the National Assembly accepted this delegate position and sent it there, and later came to realize that the number of delegates that would partake in this only favored the governors.
The governors, of course.
So in a hush-hush, they came and reconstructed a supplementary part of this for a statutory delegates to involve a large number of other people, but the president did not assent to it.
Exactly. Thank you so much. You know, the time is really our enemy here, and we have a lot to consider. So let's hear from Honorable Yusuf, the age bracket of these top political presidential aspirants. I'm talking about PDP and APC. If you look at their age bracket, these are people that have spent quite a number of years on the earth, and in other climes, their time should be maybe sitting and serving as advisors. But here, these are people who have been pushed forward to represent us at that top level. So, looking at this situation now, is there really hope for the young Nigerian politicians?
Yes, that is another problem. You see, in Nigeria, there is a recycling that is on the leadership. Somebody who has been a governor 20 years ago. Look at just example of Buhari. Buhari has been the president of this country during the military era. Today he is the president of this country. If you look at the age difference between his military era to today, you'll be surprised that he's supposed to step aside for the young ones. And the issue of workers, there is a limit for a worker to resign or to, what do you call it?
To retire.
To retire. But for politics, there is not. That is where the youths have been
marginalized.
Marginalized. You see, like for Tinubu, for how long has been in the politics, and today he's being expected to rule Nigeria.
Someone says
at his own age,
he's not physically fit.
That's another problem. There are two things that we need to consider: your age. Are you fit for the position? Because if we continue like this, Nigeria will be going backward. The high rate of youths that completed their universities, if you look at it, some of them this
is it white collar?
What do you call it? This how can I put it?
Is it job?
Cyber crime.
Okay, it's all right.
That is where they fit, which is not even good for the country. So my advice here is that these people should give the youth the chance to rule this country, and let's see what the youth can do.
It's all right.
Can I just say something?
Okay, quickly, because we would like to take calls from our call.
I don't think there's anything wrong in the age. If you look at other advanced democracies, the United States of America, Germany, some will say, what about France and all that? Before Macron, who are the people there? You see, holding an office like that, you need to gather over time experience to be there. And that is not saying that young people don't have the experience. But my major issue here is that the sense of entitlement that people, the elderly ones, should just step aside and for it to come there. You need to do something extraordinary, something different. It's just to create the level playing field. That is just what it should be. If you look at Tunisia, the former president, one has been even ailing, and he has been there for a long time before he died. At some point, even in the history of the United States of America, there was a president who was on a wheelchair, right? So, like it is becoming a tradition, unfortunately, now that younger people think that even the State House of Assembly is meant for the youth. Me, I would prefer a younger person of 30 and above years to be the governor, and more elderly people who have the experience and have been grounded and exposed to be at the assembly to make the laws.
It's okay. Really? It's all right. Viewer, in case you're just joining us, the program is Issues of the Moment on MBS TV, and I've been having discussion here with Umar Abdullahi Angibi, a public affairs commentator, and Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Abdullahi. He is the Deputy Chairman, New Nigerian People's Party, Nasarawa State. We'll be taking a short break, after which we'll be back and we'll open up the phone lines for you to make your contributions on this program. We'll be right back. All right, you're welcome back, and we are still on Issues of the Moment, a program that gives you the platform to make your contributions on topical issues in the society. And today we are discussing politics. Well, the number to reach us is 070-1101-9369. 070-1101-9367. You can be part of this program by just dialing this number, and we'll be here conversing together. All right. So we are waiting for your calls so that we will discuss together. But before then, let me also get back to Umar Angibi. 2023, do you foresee voting along religion, ethnic, or other primordial sentiment, considering the fact that these two major political parties are presenting from both sides? But let's pick this call. All right, go ahead.
Yes, certainly there would be regional sentiments. The power needs to shift to the south. No, the north needs to retain the power. That will play out because it has already set, the primaries had already set the tone for that. And the major issue now, religion, people feel the next president should be a Christian. Others say no, it's a Muslim that should continue with the power. One major issue, even within the APC now, is there are comments about.
All right, let's pick this caller. Hello. Okay, go ahead.
The people who to pair now as a running mate.
Okay.
And there are insinuations that it may be a Muslim ticket.
Okay.
And a religious body, the CAN says it will sue the party if it does that.
Okay.
So this is what we're going to see.
Hello. 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 Good morning. Yes, morning. Your name and where you're calling from. Can you be audible?
Yeah, my name is Inspector Dan.
Inspector Dan, all right. Welcome to the program.
From Bukan City.
From Bukan City. Okay, go ahead and ask your questions, or if you have a contribution to make.
We're talking about the presidential what are we talking for?
Exactly. The emergence of APC and PDP presidential candidates, and other issues before and after the primaries, and then looking at 2023 general elections, the chances of the parties.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you sure about either a Muslim or a Christian does not arise here? We only need the person that can hold the country very well. And there is no how a Muslim will go to the state and will start picking a Christian at the right.
Okay.
So therefore, we pray for the nation, for somebody that will be there and at least look for the good ones, because we cannot be rich all.
All right.
So let us think to how we make the country at least amicably.
It's all
So
right.
that is my whole advice to people there.
Thank you so much, Inspector Dan from Bukan City. We appreciate you a lot. All right, that was Inspector Dan with his contributions there. You were saying something before the call came.
Yes, just like the last caller said, the focus of the voting population, those with the PVC, is to look at competence, credibility.
Okay.
Someone who would come and address the myriads of problems in the country. The number one issue being security, and then how to sort of revamp the economy. And then build mutual trust within the people and make us look well one Nigeria.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, Malam Yusuf, talking about the your party in particular, your presidential candidate, Senator Rabi Musa Kwankwaso of the NNPP, and Peter Obi of Labour Party. They're a bit younger than this other bigger aspirant, and your party sort of imagine is coming up. It's not yet formidable like the PDP and the APC. So looking at their chances, do you think they have the capacity to spring the surprise that maybe we might want to see in 2023?
Really,
Okay, let me pick this caller. We'll get back to your question. Hello. 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 Good morning. Go ahead, sir.
See, in reality, Dr. Rabi Musa Kwankwaso is well known.
Okay.
In the field of building people, building the have-nots. You see, when he was a governor in Kano State, he spent a lot of money on training so many peasants, those who doesn't have the capacity or who doesn't have the means to study, but they are well educated.
All right.
Some of them are doctors today, some of them are pilots, and most of them are working outside the country. You see, if such thing would have been in every state, I don't think.
Go ahead.
I don't think Nigeria will be where we are today, because we are still standing after independence. We are not moving. Somebody who has no money to spend on education, the government.
Let's pick this caller. Hello.
Hello, good morning.
Morning, sir. Your name and where you're calling from?
My name is Abdullah. I'm calling from Doma.
Abdullah from Doma, right? You're welcome to the show.
Yes.
Okay, can you go ahead and make your contribution?
Good morning, the judge.
Good morning. How are you?
Thank you.
Morning, thank
Abdullah.
you.
When the vice chairman, NNPP, is talking about the bill budget and the rest, that they use to wait for when they work done, I believe that the youth are supposed to take the chance. Because in this policy, the youth have to work with the policy, so that they will not wait for the chance, but they should want to take the chance.
All right.
And they cannot stay at crisis and pretend that they will be giving us chance, not giving us time.
All right.
They have to involve themselves in politics,
It's all right.
so that they can come and rule this country one and bring the country back to where it was before.
It's all right.
I think I'm going to ask Amadu Satauna of Singapore, who was more than 32 years when he ruled Nigeria. Shagori, the Buhari when he was in Nigeria, they were all under Kalifa.
Yeah.
So we cannot longer be waiting for it. We have to take the chance.
All right.
We have to take the chance.
Yeah.
That's my advice.
Thank you so much, Abdullah.
All the best and happy for this program.
Thank you so much, Abdullah from Doma. We appreciate you.
Just in addition to what Abdullah was saying,
All right.
I heard the present governor of Kaduna State
Yes.
saying that youth should come and force themselves to political activities.
Yeah.
That if youths are waiting for them, they won't give them the chances.
You're just confirming or affirming the fact that power is not given. Rather, power is taken.
It's been taken.
And how do you take it?
How do you take it?
Through active participation.
Yeah, active participation.
Yeah, I agree with
yes.
you. I agree. Well, the time is not really there. Maybe quickly, because before we round up, we saw how the whole exercise, primaries and the rest played out. Even at the state level here, you discovered that a lot of gladiators lost their bid to either secure one ticket or the other. Some even lost their bid to return to their initial position. So with this, Umar, do you see a possibility of either defection or maybe the ruling party losing grip of what they have at the result of what has just happened in the primary election?
Okay, certainly we are going to see the outcome of the 2023 elections. It's going to certainly bring surprises.
Okay.
Right. Let us not think that it is only the parties that are dictating the tone of our political activities.
Okay.
There are people who are watching and they realize they are also reacting to what treating their elected people the way they feel, and it is sending a message across to to those elected that they need to change their modus operandi on this. But just quickly, let me say something about this other presidential candidate. Yes, just briefly. For Peter Obi of the Labour Party, for Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP, Kola Abiola of the PRP, and the rest of them, if it is sincere that they are going to want to change power, then they need to come together and organize themselves and spreading the butter thin. You understand? That's just what I have to say. Even if the two parties will continue to dominate.
All right. Okay, maybe on a final note, your advice to electorate in Nasarawa State ahead of the 2023 general elections, in respect, I mean, maybe regarding to your party, what do you have to say?
Really, I will just advise
in 10 seconds.
our supporters to vote mainly for NNPP.
Why?
So because this is the only party that has come to salvage the sufferings of the people.
Okay.
Because all the political parties have failed. Really, today NNPP is at stake, and we are ever ready to move this country forward.
Thank you so much. Malama, your last
Thank
take.
you.
Well, the thing is that the powers is in the hands of the people. And you can only be a part of the politics and the decision in Nigeria if you have your PVC. And you should look at the candidates and then objectively select the people that will come and change the country.
Thank you so much. That is Umar Abdullahi Angibi, a public affairs analyst in Nasarawa State, and Honorable Yusuf Ahmed Abdullahi, NNPP Deputy Chairman, one-time gubernatorial candidate of PRP. Well, we sincerely appreciate you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much.
And for our viewers, this is how far we go on today's edition of the program Issues of the Moment. Join us next week as we bring up another issue for discussion. My name is Gospel Aide. Enjoy the rest of your day.